85% of people prefer text over email and phone calls because they want to engage in a conversation. All text messaging is not equal. Customers respond to people, not bots. Be more like people and start having conversations that end in conversions. Use Scipio.
Steal this idea. 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 Steal this idea.
That's from Tiago Butters. Romeo's son. He sent us this weekend. What do you think about it?
Wow. I mean,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, frankly. I don't know if I would make a career out of it.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to get an up and coming, and Romeo's trying to help him. So
No, I get it.
I'm looking through our fan mail here. I see like a whole bunch of emails from fans being like, "Where are the episodes?" And it's like, "Don't worry, I sent them to Tiago. He said he was posting them, but."
Can you imagine a world where it's like we've just been recording the podcast for 2 years and it's going into the ether? We just have no idea.
Yeah, that would be pretty great.
It's like the kind of thing that could happen to your grandparent. Like, I'm trying to remember. I kind of remember an internet meme from the early 2000s of a like grandpa or something who it was using Microsoft Word or something like that and thought that what he was saving, I guess, was sending to people. And like the daughter sits down and goes to
Creed Thoughts from The Office.
Oh, I think I am. Wait, what was Creed Thoughts?
I mean, it's basically that was the bit.
She's like, yeah.
He like sets him up. It's like, hey, here's a website. Here's a blog. Write whatever you want. What a good Office reference, though.
Yeah,
Creed
that's essentially what we've been doing here on Steal This Idea for the last X number of years, months.
The last 36 months or so. We've been recording, just, we thought it was going out.
Thoughts.
Well, should we start?
Oh, what a bummer. Yeah, let's do it.
You're a thief and a liar.
I only lied about being a thief.
Steal.
Lie.
We're gonna steal a ship.
Commandant AutoTaco.
An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
For someone like you to steal?
Ideas are bulletproof.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
You know how they say like
Steal
smells or things like that can take you back?
Yeah.
I feel like that's my reaction to the theme song. So I feel like now I've been transported back in time.
Well, when I say hello again, thieves,
we're back.
We are back. Welcome to Steal This Idea.
We're back.
The only podcast where every week, but every episode.
Every week.
We've yet to miss a week. Every episode, we give you $1 million business idea for you to steal. Completely free. Sometimes
That's right.
a business idea. And all we ask in return is that if any of these ideas do in fact make you a millionaire, which all of them are keen to do, it's just a matter of taking us up on it, that you just, send an anonymous check for, enough to pay off our mortgages. I know Andre's got a steep New York rent bill.
Yeah, my incredibly high New York rent would be excellent to have covered.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but we're back. We're going to try and do this a little more regularly because so many fans have reached out, and it's all about the fans. This is who it's been for since day one.
Totally. I've missed the podcast. It's certainly a labor of love, but we missed the Thieves big time.
That's right. And, unfortunately, Romeo Butters he's passed away, but he did upload his conscience into a computer. And so, in the coming episodes, we're going to bring him on to, invite him to the cast, to do a little more Shark Tank action with his conscience in the form of artificial intelligence. So you got some good stuff in the hopper for the Thieves.
Totally.
Just that's a little sizzle
for all the people out there who've been patiently waiting to get more of the Romeo Butters lore, like just you wait.
Just you freaking wait. And also one other bit of sizzle. I'm currently going through all of our previous ideas, and we're going to have I'm building a website right now it's going to have all the ideas, a nice little landing page for all of them, breakdown of the ideas. So it'll be easier than ever to steal these ideas. So
which
Thanks to Dario for that one.
if you're out there and you missed the podcast, then now is a better time than ever to consider going through the backlog and listening to some of your favorite old episodes.
That's right.
So that you can go to this
and we
new
probably
website
should.
and check it out.
I know for a fact there have been 3 or 4 episodes. One of them, Sluggers, I just saw recently, which was Top Golf but batting cages.
Yeah.
That was a bona fide idea. I get ads for it all the time now. There have
Wait,
certainly
like
been,
it actually exists?
Yeah, it's a
Somebody
real
has done
thing.
it, what the cost structure is?
How
does it compare to Top Golf cost is my curiosity.
Yeah, I'm sure it's $60 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much the running rate for any fun experience, I guess.
Today, Thieves, on this episode, we got a good one because I'm bringing back a crowd favorite, Idea Gauntlet. But before we get into that, we're going to do the other crowd favorite, which is good idea, bad idea.
Good idea. Good idea. Bad. Good idea. Bad idea. Good idea.
Thanks again for the music, Tiago Butters.
Just so good. I'm so proud of him. He's grown up to be a pretty incredible DJ.
What you got for me, Andre?
All right. Good idea, bad idea. So I have what I think is a good idea and what I think is a bad idea.
Yeah, for the Thieves that maybe you're just tuning in, good idea, bad idea. Andre gets all these, whether he online, whether he's buying things, he sees a plethora of ideas. And as the resident people who know what a good idea and bad idea is, we bring them to the podcast and we kind of dissect them. Which is a good idea, which is a bad idea, and we try to either reaffirm that yes, in fact, this is a good idea, and then maybe on the bad ideas we try and fix them and try and make them good.
That's right. I'm curious if you'll agree whether or not some of these are good ideas or bad ideas.
Lay it on me.
But first up, we have, let's see here, Pasha. So there's been a series of products in this category. None of them have reached mainstream success. So what Pasha is, it's essentially an all-in-one cooking appliance. And I think that what that has historically meant is you have an air fryer that's also a rice cooker, that's also a yogurt maker, that's also a bread maker. And if you're familiar with this space, this is an all-in-one appliance that has a pan and a mixing bowl and hoppers to load various food items into.
It's like borderline industrial. Like it's sizable.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, right? It's much different in profile than your air fryer is, but it does a lot more. It's essentially you're buying a robot for your home. Thieves, you have to picture in your mind a huge kitchen appliance that can
maybe like a cappuccino maker. Like, would you say it's like?
I would say it's about the size of an espresso maker.
Yeah,
but the one that they have at Starbucks. So not the one that you usually buy for your home. This woman is sitting on her counter, luxuriously looking at this huge appliance, and it takes up about half of her.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I will say the tagline, "Your dish is my command," is about as good as it gets.
Here's the thing. I am bringing this as a good idea. I think if one of these products, and again, if you're familiar with this space, there have been many attempts at the cooking robot that stirs things in and actually cooks something for you versus essentially reheats something for you. I think that we're getting closer and closer. And I think that this is the closest that we've yet come to a product that I personally would love, which is I just don't want to stand over the stove. I am interested in having fresh, essentially home cooked food.
Yeah.
But I personally can't go through the process of finding a recipe, following it, sort of being hand in hand with a recipe and actually executing it. This is the solution. Now, whether or not it could possibly work, I don't know. I have a really hard time imagining.
Well, I will say that part of the reason that I think people this is even a thing is because enough people have gotten Instant Pots and especially air fryer. I became an air fryer convert maybe a year ago, and it's I use it every day. I'm obsessed with it, like most air fryer people are. Or like a Ninja Creamy or whatever. It's people just swear to the high heavens about these things, right? So I do think there's clearly a market for a magic device that can cook amazing, right? Here's the only, I do think it's a good idea. I think the way it's being marketed, so in this kind of hero image, it's a gal on a big marble table watching her Pasha cook for her or whatever. I actually think it's probably marketed towards her because it's expensive, and this is meant to be like, hey, people of wealth, like buy this, $2,000 machine or whatever. I think actually the better play here would be like more industrial design, and actually really position it towards like students and like people in apartments and like people in mother-in-law apartments or basement apartments, where it's like, hey, you actually don't need a stove. This can do all that. And like you could get a stove like experience with this one device, as opposed to like, hey, put this in your kitchen. Cause that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this.
Oh, that's so tough though, because unfortunately, I mean, maybe because I'm in New York and we all, I think, have small kitchens.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess you'd be
If-
the exception.
Yeah, but like unfortunately, the maybe best use case would be like somebody who has roommates or like your college dorm situation, I guess.
Right.
And it's like that person, I'm sure, could not afford this beautiful device. The other thing that actually is sort of turning me against it on the whole is what I'm realizing, and the hero image kind of shows this, is she has like a cutting board out where she has clearly been like preparing some kale and a dip, etc. The reality is, and again, Thieves, like if you're picturing this, if you're in your car, essentially the machine is a big pan that stirs itself with a hopper that can dump various ingredients into the pan at presumably various times.
So you would like pre-cut a bunch of stuff and like it could more or less make the soup for you.
Yeah, but like, is that even useful? Because if I have to chop a bunch of onions and then load them into the device, then I guess that's nice. That certainly saves me work, but that's not dinner cooking itself, right? That's dinner literally cooking itself.
This is throwing me back to one of our super old episodes.
This is going to be the one where we have the kids prep the vegetables for you.
At the time, he was like, what a stupid idea. But now imagine some kid just drops off a bunch of pre-chopped vegetables on your porch.
Dude, I actually do. I will say I just recently re-listened to this episode, which is why it was so top of mind. But now more than ever, I love the idea of young entrepreneurs prepping vegetables for me. It'd be so cool.
Especially local. Like kids are like, sure, I'll cut a bunch. I don't care. And they just go drop it off. Like, I'm into that. Okay, Pasha, I would say there was a nugget of a good idea in there. I'm not convinced that the way they're positioning it is quite there yet, but $1,500.
$1,500
robot
pre-order.
I think we're a year away from robotics, the pricing going down, and this being sold to a better audience, I think.
Yeah. Well, the price going down and also the quality of the end device being better. I think that there's still room to grow on this. All right. So that's my potentially good idea that we sort of tore apart. Here is, I think, an idea that some thieves may say is a good idea.
Man, I get that all the time too.
Really? So I'll say my partner, Abe, certainly, I think he would even agree, is a little bit of a phone. I'll use the word overuser. He loves his phone, right? And he gets ads for this product that's called Brick. And Brick is this little plastic brick that it's magnetic. You can sort of stick it to things. But all it really is a device that you hold your phone to, and it activates an app on your phone that essentially activates screen time. And if you're familiar with screen time and you use it, it's an app that blocks your ability to access all these applications. So for example, you get home from work, you say, all right, it's time to tune out my email and Slack and Teams, whatever. I'm going to tap my phone to my Brick, and that's like me having family time. Or, I need to really focus for 3 hours and get a bunch of work done. I'm going to tap my Brick, and it's going to, do all this stuff.
Tap my Brick. This is
it's so basic. It
$60.
is $60. Yeah, right. That was the actual shocker. So Abe brings this home and he's like, I'm going to take control of my.
Oh, Abe bought this?
Oh, did I not say that? Yeah. Abe, same as you, was like, I got advertised this so many times that I broke down and finally got it. So yeah, we have a Brick. I can see it on the fridge as we speak.
Jeez.
And yeah, really, it's not, there's no technology in it. There's no, battery to it. There's nothing happening.
It's like an
inside of the
NFC
brick.
chip in there that just triggers an app.
Exactly. It's the same as like tapping your phone to any old thing. There's no special technology here. In addition to the fact that you have to have this app, which it's like essentially you're managing everything in the app. Nothing happens on the brick.
That's fascinating.
And also there's what they haven't figured out any more than any other company that has tried to create apps in this way is there's still no incentive really.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's still up to Abe to say, okay, I'm going to go tap my phone to brick. And that almost is worse, right? Like it's almost like I have to take actual concerted effort in order to block myself.
Yeah. Let me attempt. So it's relevant here because my cousin happens to own a company, or he has a startup. I just sent you the link in the chat, called Analog. So it's really similar type of device, but their spin on it is this device looks more like maybe like a wireless router or something like that, kind of a taller device you set down. And this basically sets up little like areas. So like you'd put it in your kitchen or you put it in your bedroom, and it makes like a geofenced zone. And so essentially
what the heck? Like, how are you presenting me with the exact solution to what I just said? Which is
you were talking about it. So now
weird.
instead of like now you basically, it's like, like there's just no phones in the bedroom. Like you can have it out here, or like, it's dinner time. Like you set up, and it like triggers over dinner time, and so like you put your phones down, like it.
What? This is like what every household in America needs. How are we not this? I think like it would be so powerful, frankly, even if totally depending on your view of phones and phone use, like how incredible to have some device that can take the sort of loose rule of like, hey, we don't use our phones in the bedroom, or hey, we don't, watch TikTok in the bedroom. Like we read books this is exactly the problem, right? It's like we want Audible. It's not like we have a no phones in the bedroom rule. It's just like we want to not be on social media, right? And this allows you to say that, and to say, but in the living room, that's fine. And maybe, in the dining room, it's not. Like this would allow you to do so much at Average House.
That's pretty cool, right?
Wow, that is really cool. And this is your cousin's startup, you're saying?
This is my cousin. Yeah, he worked at Qualtrics for a while, and I just happened to run into him recently, and he was kind of showing my mom like the device, which again looks like something you'd put on it looks like a really nice router.
It's a beautiful, beautiful little thing. Okay, well, you'll have to assure your cousin that I will be a customer. I think that's too cool.
Andre's going through the buying process right now. This was all organic too.
Scott and I chat all the time. This somehow had never come up, so this is completely natural.
So I think the come away here, brick, bad idea, but
analog, great idea.
Great idea. I'll have to let John know we shouted him out. Yeah, I think it's goanalog.co is their website if you're curious.
Excellent product. Seriously, Thieves, if you're listening and you have this problem, which I think every house in America does, you should really look it up.
Okay, Andre, it's time for the idea gauntlet. Now, fortunately for us, we live in an age where AI has really enabled me to make some sweet landing pages. And so the visual component here, I think, is going to help. So I've got 3 ideas. They all, they all have their, none of them is like the strongest or whatever. They're all like, I think, solid ideas. All of them are businesses. They all are kind of, 2 of them are connected to food, kind of, but one of them isn't. So these are stores that that you would start.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're going to
start
with the first one. So typically how we do this is Romeo will, seed Andre some money, and then he can kind of choose how he invests it. So until we get Romeo on the pod, we're going to do that same format for old time's sake. We're going to give you $1 million, Andre. You're going to choose how you want to slice it up, evenly or one, all in one, or however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Okay. And for the Thieves, we're going to have all these businesses are going to be on a website where you can go and see the landing page and see kind of what we're looking at. Okay, idea number 1. You open that up and share your screen so I can watch you navigate.
Your idea. All right, I'm in the zone.
You're the theater of the mind, as you
Mhm,
might
of
say.
course. The theater of the landing page, you could
That's
say.
right. So this is an idea I'm calling AutoTaco. I don't know. I know you're maybe not the perfect person to pitch this to because I know you don't drive a ton, but you can remember having to get an oil change back in the
Uh-huh.
day. You've had one or two of those. Getting an oil change, actually, you never know if it's going to be busy. When you go there, it's really dirty and you have like this really crappy lobby, and it's like, hey, like wait here for 30 minutes until your car's done. And best case scenario, you get some like stale popcorn, maybe a soda machine, and then a lot of like Judge Judy on TV or something like that. Most like Jiffy Lube, all these kind of places, quick lube places, all just kind of suck. They're like not good places to be at. So I thought the perfect pairing with a lube place, an oil place, is a taco place. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, unlike a traditional restaurant, tacos can kind of fit in this in-between realm where maybe I'm going between lunch and dinner and I don't want to get like a whole meal. One carne asada taco is like just like a nice little snack. It doesn't have to be a meal, but if you do go during mealtime, you get tacos. And it's a really simple menu, right? Taco trucks they sell one thing, they sell 3 meats, 2 toppings, that's it, right? So it's your overhead's really low and you can just sell 1 or 2 types of tacos. You can make it pretty simple. And it's again that sweet spot of time. It's time, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? And I just think that like nobody has a pleasant experience getting their oil changed. And this is like, oh yeah, I'll get some chips and guac, get some tacos, wait for my oil to get done. It just gives me one other reason to go to this one instead of the other. It's kind of like the sports clips, right? Like you can go to Great Clips, you can go to Fantastic Sam's, whatever, but sports clips is like, hey, but here you get to watch sports while you get your haircut. And like for me, it's a dumb little thing, but it's like, yeah, that's enough for me. Like it's just enough to push me there, right? I have no allegiance to, Jiffy Lube or Grease Monkey or any of these places. Like I typically go wherever it's cheaper, but one that was like, hey, 2 free tacos with your oil change. Freak, yeah, I'm gonna go to that one because I want some tacos, especially if they're decent. So that's AutoTaco.
I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. I think first, surely any thief knows that sitting in the Jiffy Lube like waiting room area is probably like one of the worst places on the planet Earth.
It's miserable.
And it's like almost, it leads to you essentially dreading this chore where you're sort of trapped somewhere for about half an hour. And I think you've identified correctly that tacos are almost the perfect food in that they, 1 or 2 tacos, even 3 tacos is not really a meal, right? But it's not popcorn, which they already have at Jiffy Lube frequently.
Yeah, and like it could be a meal. Like if it's like, hey, I get my oil change at 5. Yeah, give me the full plate, and like I will just.
I think maybe my workshop element is I'm trying to think what other places / chores that there's essentially a waiting component to that would be improved by this situation. Because what would be interesting to me is there's now, you buy like a strip mall type property where you maybe have like a really good taco joint that is in the middle or joins all of these places together. And because then your operating procedure makes more sense, right? You potentially have like 3 businesses that all have waiting customers where you can say, here's the benefit, or here's like one place where you get a bunch of things done. I can't really think of anything. I kind of like for a moment I played with the idea of haircuts, which I don't think anybody really wants to be eating a haircut.
There's a place Fantastic Freddy's near where I live where basically you drive through, it's a car wash and then it's a car detail, and basically you get out of the car detail and then it's like a really nice convenience store where they have popcorn and cookies and drinks and basically a whole 7-Eleven. So similar kind of thing. I think you could do it with like a nice car detailing place as well.
Yeah, I think car detailing is sort of an obvious fit. Yeah, I mean, you could really try to expand your car-based offerings, right? Yeah, because that's going to be the most obvious.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. 1 for 1. I'm feeling pretty good with AutoTaco.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one I'm gonna have to sell you on. but
Okay.
I think you'll see the vision here. But first, let me do some prep work. Do you have a favorite pillow that you sleep on?
Yes, of course.
What makes that pillow your favorite?
I think it was $250 would probably be the main reason it's my favorite. But yeah, Abe and I both have one Tempur-Pedic pillow each, and
Okay.
that is like the pillow. And when you say like, "Oh, can you grab me my pillow?" That's the pillow that we're referring to. And yeah, I mean, Abe's had his for too long. Like, I'm sure that a doctor would say that he needs to change it. But yeah, that's my pillow, and I've
Okay. What
loved
about
it.
a favorite blanket? Do you have a favorite blanket?
Yeah, I,
What about that blanket makes it your favorite?
it's really soft and kind of stretchy.
Okay. I could
Are
go
we
through.
going? Are you trying to get like a cooling thing? Is that where
No,
we're
no, no,
headed?
no. So I can go through this exercise and I say, what's your favorite hoodie? What's your favorite towel? What's your favorite things? And inevitably, you're going to say one repeat thing that makes it your favorite,
Hmm.
which is that it's soft. So I
Hmm.
just sent you the link if you want to open that up.
Absorbing.
Think of a Bath and Body Works type of store. As we know, Bed Bath and Beyond is no longer, and so there's this void in the space of like things for your home, right? So I propose a store called Soft, SOFT period, Soft, the nice and brutalist. And the idea behind Soft is that everything in here is soft: furnishings, decor, rugs, blankets, loungewear, wellness, kids' clothes. That is the criteria to make it into soft, is that it is soft. These days, you could go to any department store and you see a blanket in a bag and you're like, well, maybe this is soft. I don't know until I buy it. Or you could order anything online and hope that it's soft. Or I'm sure you, in the build up to get your pillow, probably went through a couple pillows that like just weren't quite soft enough, weren't to your liking. Imagine just like a Bath and Body, you go in, you're overwhelmed instead of by candles and bath soaps and whatever. It's soft things. You can touch everything. Everything is cozy, and then all of a sudden you kind of go down the list of like, I need a baby shower gift, I need a wedding gift, I need a whatever gift. There are people who are like, that's what they want. They want soft things. That they want soft shoes, they want soft socks, they want soft blankets, they want soft hoodies, so, all of it. And so this is basically, that's the criteria. Instead of you know a whole gamut of clothing and textiles and whatever that may or may not be soft, or cross the whole range, and they might look better or whatever. Like, yeah, go somewhere else for that. This is the place for soft things.
I love this idea. I'll tell you why. And I think so. Obviously it makes sense as a like retail storefront, like a place that you go. But I actually do really like it as just a brand that you can sort of use as your source when you
Sure.
want soft things. Particularly because my example is I just recently bought a new couch, and softness is like softness of the fabric that the couch is made of is a very difficult feature to shop for.
Yeah.
Even though we knew that that's what we wanted. We wanted a couch that was like not just comfortable and not just soft in the cushioning, but also soft like surface level, right? And it's interesting to me that this is like a really hard e-commerce flag to find and use.
Yeah.
And I think like rugs is the same. So it's like sometimes a rug is really soft and it looks soft.
We've had some rugs and they're fine. And then we got another rug and I was like, whoa, this is like really soft and comfortable. I just like being on it. And I was like, it's weird that it's not easier to find these kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would just be really like, it's an interesting play to say like this is our storefront, and I really see it. I again, obviously, it would function. It would be a very cool retail store,
Yeah.
and I think people would love to go to the soft store. But as a brand, where it's like, okay, I really just want something that's soft, and it's like this is an interesting place to start. Like, and I also don't think, technically speaking, it's really a curation business, right?
Yes.
Like you just need brands that make high quality stuff that you also have verified that it's soft, which sounds crazy, but I actually think could go so far.
I think also too, there is a potential play where you figure out where a lot of the soft stuff is being manufactured, and then you have a soft brand, and then get better margins there. So
Love it. Soft.
did you go to the website to see that logo? I like that logo.
Yes. I think actually the website is really good. I'm excited for Thieves to experience it. the website like really is exactly the brand that I think you would build if you made soft. Like this is what you want.
Okay, 2 for 2. I'm feeling frisky.
Yeah.
I haven't missed a beat here, Thieves.
Well, we'll see where you land on 3.
Okay, this last one again. You're either gonna love it or hate it.
Okay.
So here's the prelude on this one. Recently, I started taking some creatine because it's good for your mind. And what I found is that creatine doesn't taste like, it's not like, oh, I got to stomach it down, but it doesn't taste good. It's like a little chalkiness to it. So I had to like mix it in with something, right? And there are a host of things like magnesium and vitamin D and all these things where it's like, yeah, you can take a vitamin, but the best way to get it is like in a powder and you mix it in with a drink, right? And so it got me thinking that, I'm not somebody who drinks a ton of coffee, but I would go to a place. So this is the name of this is called LifeBar. And the idea here is you go there in the same way that you would go and get a cup of coffee, but instead you're ordering essentially like a mini collection of like shots or mixed beverages, but they're calibrated so that they're like, oh, like we figured out the best way to like take fish oil in a way that like isn't gross or like doesn't taste disgusting. And so you're taking shots, and the idea is like you go there and like you get like your handful of shots, and that's the experience. Like that's what you're getting to power up, and maybe there's coffee there too or whatever. But all these supplements, magnesium, zinc, all your Ds, your omega-3s, this is all stuff that we know we need, that like the best form is in a form that we're not getting in, and we're usually just taking it in a tablet form. We often forget it. Like, we're not getting it in its best form. And this could, I think, be a fun, like, especially East Coast, West Coast, New York, California kind of thing. It ends up facilitating like a coffee shop, but it's like a new fun spin on it. And so you go and then you get your, like getting a green smoothie, but again, the whole focus is around these supplements that we need, and it's built around that, less like some kind of amorphic green juice or whatever. Like this is like, oh, you need magnesium, take the magnesium shot, and take the D3 shot and your zinc shot. And that's, oh, you're struggling sleep, take these 3. And this is what, come in as much as you want and get these shots. I think a LifeBar kind of place could do well. I think you'd have to like figure out exactly the spread, but what are your thoughts on LifeBar?
I mean, it's a good idea, Scott, but it's a bad idea. I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why, and I think you'll understand. The year was 2009. And at this time I lived in Salt Lake. And in 2009, I would have been going into high school. So I was a young man at this point. And a new store or a new place opened up in my own neighborhood in Salt Lake City that it was essentially a LifeBar, where it was fresh pressed, cold pressed juices and vitamin shots. And that was in 2009.
Right.
Now, today in 2026, I live in New York, and I probably have like 4 of these within a 15-minute walk. Not
so
kidding.
This is just me
kidding.
not living downtown, is what you're saying.
Yes, I think that you're right. It's a good idea, and it's a formula that I actually do think is underutilized, especially even in Salt Lake, because the only one, even though Salt Lake we know is like Utah in general is a very health conscious place, and people respond well to the idea of supplements and like daily health like this in Salt Lake.
Right.
Not even to mention that there's just a market for people to have somewhere to go hang out that isn't necessarily a coffee shop or a regular bar. Yeah. So I think that there is a lot of room for something like this to be successful in the world. I already know that it can be successful. I've seen it done.
This is not AutoTaco. This is not new territory you're dealing in.
Yeah. I think if we wanted to take us to new territory, though, I think something that would be interesting, and I don't know if you've seen this too, but there is a rise, at least in my feed, of places on the internet that you go and you say, like, I'm a 30-year-old male with early arthritis. I don't know, various things about your health. And then they make you like custom supplements. I've seen them in like pill form. Like you basically get your daily vitamin, but it's for you. I would be very interested in the same thing, but you tell them exactly who you are. They mix exactly what you need, and they send you like, I don't know, 20 in a case or something, and you put them in your fridge.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would respond really well to that.
Sure.
On the other hand, I think people really like these kinds of things fresh, and that's like part of why I think that juices online haven't really taken off.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that would be interesting.
the really where my head was going is like, so when I take creatine, I just like have like scoop powder or whatever, and then I just put it in water, and then I put a liquid IV in there too. So it's basically just like liquid IV. And so I was like, well, and I'm just like, I think this is the right amount, like, I don't know, 10 grams or like, I'm just kind of guessing. I don't actually know, like, just doing my best to figure it out. Whereas like I could see a place where it's like, oh no, we've actually figured out like, how old are you? What? Okay. Yeah. They kind of dial it in, and then they know the kind of the flavor profile to make it more unique. And then the other thing that I think is fun about this is a lot of these places, at least the way that I would imagine they are like, yeah, it's like a green smoothie place. It's got a bunch of good stuff, or like a cold press thing. To me, I like the idea of like lots of little shot glasses or like things like that, where it's like you order and then they come and bring you like 4 shots, and like you're kind of like periodically just like throwing back these like health shots. Is like kind of like that's part of the experience. It's like they're all kind of in this fun form. And then you're like, actually, I want one more. Let me get an energy one before I go. And then like you go or whatever. So I don't know, like it again, maybe this already exists, obviously in some capacity it does, but like, I think there's a way to format this where maybe to creep into the interstates instead of like really, really trendy stuff. Like even if it's focused on like creatine and like really, because like you go to Costco, hey, you need your CoQ10, and the best way to do, drink it is in this like, in liquid form. Like there's like a whole thing about it. And so it's like, yeah, take that and then make it taste better than it tastes in the bottle. And like, I would rather go to the store and get that than like buy a gross bottle and like figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's room to take the concept further. I will say, like, even the places here are not so much, I mean, they are hangout in that they're very much in the same vein as like a coffee shop, but they're not really, it's not like here's a glass of, a bunch of
Right.
juices and you sit there with your friends. It's really more like a coffee shop. Like you might sit and have a drink while you work or something like that, but not really hang out and not really like service like that. There's like room to expand the concept. That's all.
Cool. Okay, Andre, you've got your $1 million. Let's slice and dice it.
All right. So here's my thought. It is like, let's say, for example, that we're sitting
Tiago.
Like, let's say we're sitting Tiago in on a business, meaning that like we need something that just like anybody could execute.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I would do like 750 soft, 250 AutoTaco.
Okay.
Really translate, because AutoTaco, I think the startup cost is like tremendously greater than soft. And that's kind of why I invest in soft though, which is, I actually think if you're listening out there, like anybody could take a stab at this idea, in that, like I said, it's to start at least a curation business, right? You're finding products that are soft, that are like high quality luxury that people would want to buy, and you're assembling them into a storefront. Anybody could execute on that with like attention to detail and good marketing. There's plenty of ways to get there. And then obviously if it's successful, then it's like, okay, let's find manufacturers that could make things that are soft, and we'll have sort of soft brand soft. Yeah. And that would be the natural evolution of the business. So there's room to grow. So that's why I feel good on 750. AutoTaco, I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. What's tough for me is like in the same vein that soft I can see has a path to growth. AutoTaco would struggle in ways, like in that there's already a lot of oil quick service places, and this one would be more expensive than those to start. What would be maybe really interesting is if you're out there and you already own a chain of Jiffy Lubes, then you might consider
like the fourth, whoever's in fourth place.
Yeah, that's a good example. Which is like if you're not Jiffy Lube and you're not, I don't know, whatever the next brand is,
probably Grease Monkey or Valvoline.
Sure. If you're like somewhere in the middle, or you're like in a state where you maybe have 10 locations of your own, oil change place, then this could be like a really cool differentiator and a way for you to be more than, just Jiffy Lube essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
Wow.
ideas. I mean, across the board, good ideas. I think I'm impressed with our first idea gauntlet back.
Yeah, but you don't lose your step, just
No.
because you haven't. We've been recording every week,
Right, right. That's what I meant since our episode last week. Like
Since
kept
last
replying.
week.
Yeah.
If you're excited to hear Scott and Andre back, I think just so you guys know, we're going to do it probably twice a month now. Just, get us back in a better, healthier groove of this. And yeah, let us know what you think. Send us some fan mail. We'd love to read some fan mail. If you guys got some ideas you want us to iterate on, get some good idea, bad ideas, please send them our way, and we'll pick them to shreds or elevate them so that Andre buys them. That's really the goal of good idea, bad ideas. Get Andre to just pull the trigger on something.
So true.
Okay. Any last words, Andre?
I think I'm excited. I'd love to hear from Thieves. I think we have some good stuff here. It's great to record.
Good to be back. Thieves, we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Use Scipio, the #1 engagement tool for sales teams that want more responses, appointments, and conversations. Message your leads and customers where they are on their phone. I'm not talking about phone calls. We're talking about true one-to-one texting. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. See you later, Thieves.